Huawei's newest mid-range device is beautiful. But outside of looks, is it any good? This cotton candy colored phone, known with many names around the world, Huawei Nova 7i in Asia, Huawei P40 Lite in Europe, and Huawei Nova 6 SE in China, is Huawei's latest mid-range device. If you know anything about Huawei's mid-range devices, you'd know that these things pack a punch. But this is Huawei's first mid-range device that's only equipped with Huawei mobile services. So the question is, how good is this phone and how did I fare living on this without Google? All of that and more in this review. So first of all, this is an eye-catching device. I'm not gonna lie, that color is what struck me most when I first saw this phone. I mean, obviously, I like all things pink, but seriously though, this is one pretty and classy looking phone considering that the back is actually made out of plastic. That may be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your preference. For some, the fact that it's plastic is a good thing because it's lighter, but for others, glass is the way to go because they feel more premium until you drop them and then they break. Either way, the phone feels solid, it doesn't feel cheap at all. And again, this is definitely a phone that will catch people's attention. Also on the back of this phone is that square camera module, which really looks like a stove. And yes, I know it does look like the iPhone 11's camera modules, but also take note that it was Huawei who started the whole square camera module thing in the first place with the Huawei Mate 20 that was released before the iPhone 11 square cameras were even a thing. Up front is a single camera shooter on the left side, well, my left. And although I don't really like punch hole cameras, at least at this point, it's seeming like they're the way to go. Honestly, it's just much better than the teardrop or the notch. There's also a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. This is the way to go, I think. I still would much rather have the face unlock and fingerprint scanner combo versus just face unlock. The display on this thing is good. You're not gonna go, whoa, that thing looks awesome, like some flagships. But again, this is a mid-range device, so we can't really expect the best of the best. Right, so now that we have that covered, let's talk about how this thing runs on Huawei mobile services. That means that this phone does not have the Google Play Store. That also means it can't run Google Apps. So before I continue, I just wanted to say that I did not hack this phone when I tested it to add Google on there. Well, my thing is, if I, a tech YouTuber, feel like it's a pain to be hacking a phone to put in Google mobile services, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of users who don't feel up to this tech challenge. But that doesn't mean that you can check your Gmail because Huawei has their own mail app where you just sign in and you can see your mail. That doesn't mean you won't be able to watch YouTube on this phone because you can just go to www.youtube.com and watch YouTube videos from your browser. Nor does it mean that you won't be able to use any of the apps you commonly use because one, you can always go to the Huawei Mobile Services app, which honestly has improved from the first time I've ever tried it out with more apps. Or you can download APKs and install apps from there, which is really easy. When you go to the browser on this phone, you can click any of these websites, search for whatever app you want, and then install. Though when downloading apps through APKs, just make sure you get them from legit sources. Don't download apps that will entail you posting sensitive information if they're not from the app stores. Or another thing that you can do is install the Amazon App Store, which gives you access to a host of other apps. So there is basically a way to get to everything without the Google Play Store and without hacking your phone to get Google on there. But the one thing that I feel really sad about would be Netflix. Like, I could not download Netflix on this thing. But iFlix, which has a lot of other shows that you can watch without even paying for a subscription, and so is View with a lot of K-dramas. Both are available on the Huawei Mobile Services app. I did try this phone out for gaming, but I mean, as we all know, I'm not the biggest mobile gamer out there. Everything looks good and fast from my end, and I certainly love this feature called Drop Zone. Basically, it's a menu you can swipe to while you're on your game screen. It allows you to change alert settings while you're playing a game, do a screenshot, screen record, or even pull up certain apps like Telegram so that you can reply and check messages quickly without leaving your game screen. I did try playing Asphalt 9 on here. I'm not the best at racing, but it was fast, and I'm not just talking about my car. So one big strong point of this phone would be its battery power. With 4,200 milliamp hours, this thing lasted me more than 12 hours. That's a whole workday and more. Way more. And to top it all off, this thing is capable of 40-watt Huawei Supercharge. With the cable and the charger supplied with the box though, I got to 99% from 0 in an hour. This thing has very capable cameras. After all, that's what Huawei is known for. Photos look awesome in ideal lighting situations. These shooters are also equipped with AI that's supposed to enhance the photos you take, although sometimes they can come out a little too saturated in true Huawei photo fashion. And well, sometimes it also thinks you're at the beach when you're really just at home exercising, although that might be because of how I'm posing. Most of the time though, photos look great and ready for Instagram. There is no dedicated zoom camera on here, but you can zoom up until 6x. Images are passable, but this isn't anything crazy like what you find on Huawei flagships. There's also a wide-angle shooter on this, which is personally my preference over having a dedicated zoom camera. There's also a dedicated macro camera, which means better macro shots. Great for taking photos of my manicures, honestly. The fourth and last camera is one dedicated for the portrait mode or that bokeh, aka that blur in the background. Great for photos to make sure that the focus is all on you. It isn't perfect, but it still looks good. There's a night mode on here, and it does make a difference, especially when you're in really dark spots. Like any night mode though, you need to have a still subject, so taking photos of dogs in the dark, for example, is a no-no. One thing I'm a little sad about though is the fact that on the wide angle mode, you can't seem to activate the night mode. On that single selfie shooter up front, there is of course a signature Huawei beauty mode. Honestly, really great in small doses. It allows you to look fresh and nice, but make sure that you do so sparingly because that filter can get crazy real quick. Still, loving how fresh this can make me look. There is also night mode on selfie mode, but what might help more is if you turn on the flash while on selfie mode, the phone will automatically detect if you're in a dimly lit place and it'll activate these sort of white bars on the side that gives you this tiny fill light so you have better selfies. Video mode on this phone shoots you decent footage, and I like that it's available from wide angle 1x to 6x. This is the front-facing camera of the Huawei Nova 7i. I am walking and talking just so you can see how it performs when you're actually moving. So there's no super steady mode on this. And then wide. Great. Oh, look! Another thing you have to note is that this has beauty mode in the front and the back cameras, but you can only do the beauty mode up to 720p. So automatically when you turn on the beauty mode, it reverts to 720p. Other than that, it can shoot in 1080p, 30 fps. And that was my full review of the Huawei Nova 7i. Yes, it's a great looking phone. Yes, it's also a very capable device. Also, not having Google Play services can entail adjustment if you decide on getting this device, but like I showed you, there are workarounds. Despite certain compromises and with a cheaper price tag compared to last year's Nova 5T, the Huawei Nova 7i is looking like a good mid-range contender, both literally and figuratively. That's it for today. Let me know what your questions are about this phone in the comment section down below. If you want to get to know more about my day-to-day, or if you just want to know what gadgets I'm featuring on this channel next, you can find me on social media. That's at Cisa Said. Until next time!